my beautiful people. I would always say thank you every time I see your comments, your likes, your subscription, your shares. It's so heartwarming. I'm very excited. I'm so encouraged. Thank you so much for believing in me. You're welcome to today's episode. It's Ibimore, and I am Gabriel Ibiri Blessing. Now, we're going to do a little twist to today's episode. It's sort of an encouragement, and we're going to be talking about our shame and our testimony. It's somewhat a practical session, so you feel free to inbox us. You feel free to put your story on the comments. I would share a bit of my story, and it's just a form of encouragement because I noticed that in our journey as we try to be better and become all that God has called us to be, there are some things that are there are some things that are accompanied with the journey that we might not be proud of and we might not want to talk about. Now, those are the things that we want to hamper on in this episode. So I decided to name it Our Shame and Our Testimony. Yes, because whilst we go about our daily endeavors, there are things that will definitely happen that are unpleasant, and then we tag it that is shameful. We're not proud about it because it wasn't pleasant, it wasn't a happy experience. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be a sudden turnaround, like something you didn't expect. It could just be maybe you feel like you're static, or a huge plan you had and it was time for execution, everything just went crashing, or maybe your investment, something went down, or it could be addiction, it could just be something that has been holding you bound, and then you just decided to cover and still move on. But no, it's very important that we are proud of the unpleasant things that happen to us because all of them add up as ingredients and form the personality that we are in. And trust me, all of them are still part of God's plan. God is aware of all of them. God do not neglect you. God do not see it as something that is a different entity from what you are. All of them make who you are. So it's very important that you open up. If you feel that there is a hurt, that it could be in form of hurt, of guilt, maybe maybe an unexpected situation, maybe you had a child out of wedlock, or I don't know how to name it, but as you're watching this, I believe that it's personal for each and every one of us. Like for me, my parents had me. I heard stories about my birth, and my parents had me out of wedlock, but they decided not to. It was shameful for them. Now I'm using my birth story as a starter point. It was shameful for them then, but today they're getting proud of who I am, and they're not ashamed again of making a decision to keep me. And me, I'm also proud because come on, I would have not been here talking to you guys. You see, so maybe you might be in my parents' shoes at the moment, and you had a lot of things, a roller coaster plan coming, and then the baby comes the way, or something that I can't make, or something that you feel is shameful, something that is you think is halting your plans has happened to you, and then you are shy, you are down, you are downcasted, you are depressed, you feel like everything has come crashing down. I'm here to tell you that the things that makes you feel ashamed, your shame, it's also part of your testimony tomorrow. So it's not something that you should knock down, and it's okay. You have to live in the moment, take responsibility, own the story, be proud of your mistakes, because at the end of the day, everybody make mistakes. But when you make those mistakes, the tendency and the ability and the capacity to stand up and continue regardless is what makes you different in the furtherance of your journey of becoming more. So for another part of my story that I believe was shameful, because I am a very analytical person. Like I said, today's episode is quite personal and it's touchy for me, and because I felt I had my life all planned out, growing up as a teenager. I had this that I wanted to do. I wanted to become a lawyer. I wanted to, I loved defending people. I wanted to do a lot of things. Like I had written my life out. And then in my final year, oh, okay, I didn't end up studying law. Yes, I actually did a program in law, and I didn't end up studying it, but I'm very sure I'll go back to do it. That's by the wayside. So when in my final year of my course, I finally read English and Literary Studies, of which I'm very grateful for because I'm using the knowledge today. So in my final year, I had a mental breakdown. It was very serious. And I had to repeat my final year. Now that's then I'm saying it very lightly now. And then I know maybe then it might be it's not just repeat, it's education, there's nothing, but it was a big blow to me. It was shameful. Imagine going back to a class, or rather to a level, to your juniors, and you have to sit down, take attendance, take lectures with them. That was a shameful moment for me in my life, and I'll keep saying it. It was very shameful for me. I didn't have my confidence altogether, but I had to summon courage. I attended the classes, I took my tests, I took my exams, and I eventually graduated. Now that is not a yardstick or to endorse me that okay, I have not graduated, but I'm just using that as an example to many other things that we feel has hindered us or has brought us down or is capable of putting our potential to the mud. No, nothing is capable of putting your potentials to the mud. It is how you address the situation, it is how you face it. So you have to stand up and face it head on. Today, God has helped me, and by the grace of God, I'm getting better at what I do. So that is my testimony. It's not my final testimony, it is my testimony. I owned up to that part of my life and I used it thoroughly. I took chance of that opportunity. I gleaned what I could learn. I gleaned everything I could glean from it. And today I've passed that level like 1,000 times. I say 1,000, yes. Am I exaggerating? 100 times, and I'm sorry to say. So I passed that level, and I'm grateful to God that I had the courage. I had every tendency to not continue. I didn't want to go back. And I don't know you watching me now, if you are in that state. And trust me, as we continue daily, there are things that maybe mentally, or it could be a physical challenge, a financial challenge. There are things that seem to want to make us cringe in, that we're not very proud of. It's okay to feel that way. We're humans. It's okay to feel that way. But whilst you feel that way, guys, know that it is part of the story. Own that story, own up, head up, and move on, because your testimony is on the way. Hence, I decided to name this episode Your Shame and Your Testimony. So guys, it's like I said, it's an encouragement episode. I just needed to encourage you that it doesn't matter what's going on around you, just keep moving, because you're just a little bit closer in your journey of becoming more. Nothing is capable of putting your potentials down, and God has strong faith in you. People that are tied to you, people that their destiny are tied to you, people that you have to reach out to, they have faith in you. So that alone should be able to keep you going and knowing that God has your back. All right. So God bless you. I believe that you've learned. Like I said, you could share your personal story, what you feel you're not proud of. It might be an addiction. It might be something that you've been hiding, a guilt, a hurt. This is the episode where you could inbox me, you can inbox us privately, and we might talk about it as God will help us. Whatever happens, it is not time to back down, because in that shame, there is a testimony ahead. And I will see you always at the top as we continue in our journey of becoming more. Do have a beautiful week ahead. Keep smiling, keep your heads up. God is proud of you. God bless you. See you next week. Bye.